Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we officially begin today's event, we invite you to stand for the Indonesian national anthem. All rise for the national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. Thank you. Please be seated. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good morning, selamat pagi. Whoa, I like the spirit. Hi, I'm Alin Wiratmaja. It's an honor for me to serve as your host for this very significant event, a milestone moment for Indonesia's retail investing ecosystem. The corporate action launch marking Robinhood's entry into the Indonesian market. Before we begin, allow me to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest, Ibu Masita Kristalin, Director General of Financial Sector Stability and Development, Ministry of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, and Bapak Edi Broto, Head of Capital Market Institution Supervision Department, Indonesia Financial Services Authority, OJK. Ibu Risa Rustam, Director Indonesia Stock Exchange. Bapak Peter Tanuri, President Commissioner Buana Capital. Bapak Beni Hardiman Setiabrata, President Director Buana Capital. Mr. Dan Gallagher, Chief Legal Compliance Corporate Affairs Officer, Robinhood. Mr. Steve Quirk, Chief Brokerage Officer, Robinhood, and representatives of the media and our esteemed guests and journalists. We are honored to have all of you here at the main hall of the Indonesia Stock Exchange. In recent years, as we all know, Indonesia has emerged as one of the most dynamic investment markets in the Southeast Asia. The country is now home to more than 19 million capital market investors and 17 million cryptocurrency investors, with over half of them are under the age of 30, a digitally savvy generation shaping the future of investment in this country. Meanwhile, the IDX composite has grown nearly 19% this year. A big round of applause for us all here. Yeah, and the cryptocurrency transactions have reached hundreds of trillions of rupiah. And retail investing has become more of a mainstream part of Indonesian life. Today, we will witness another major milestone with the entry of Robinhood, a leading US financial services firm known for pioneering commission-free trading and expanding financial access to millions of users. With over 26 million active accounts and hundreds of billions of dollars in asset under management, Robinhood's arrival sends a very clear signal. Indonesia is not just a growing market, it is a strategic market for the future of the retail investing. Once more, please big a round of applause for us all. And ladies and gentlemen, to officially open today's event, we are very honored to invite Ibu Risa Erustam, Director of the Indonesia Stock Exchange, to deliver her welcoming remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, and warm greetings to everyone here today. Our honorable guest, Ibu Mashita Kristalin, Director General of Financial Sector Stability and Development, Ministry of Finance, Bapak Edi Broto, Head of Securities Institution Supervision Department, OJK, Distinguished Executive from Buana Capital, Bapak Peter Tanuri, Bapak Roy Himawan, dan Bapak Beni Hardiman Setiabrata, Distinguished Executive from Robinhood, Mr. J.B. Mackenzie, Mr. Patrick Chan, Mr. Dan Gallagher, Ms. Chloe Bartz, Mr. Steve Quirk. Good morning and welcome to Indonesia Stock Exchange. On behalf of the Indonesia Stock Exchange, it is my great privilege to welcome you to this landmark event. Today we celebrate a strategic confluence, the arrival of global fintech and the unwavering strength of Indonesia's economic and capital market fundamentals. Ladies and gentlemen, the narrative of Indonesia's capital market in 2025 is one of resilience, growth, record-setting achievement. Just last week, on December 2nd, 2025, the IDX Composite Index, or IHSG, sets its 22nd all-time high for the year. 22nd all-time high. Closing at a historic 8,617.04 with a year-to-date gain of 20.18%, the IHSG stands as one of the top performing indices globally, outpacing major markets like the S&P 500, Japan's Nikkei, and China's Shanghai Composite. This performance is not happening in a vacuum. It is propelled by unprecedented market liquidity and scale. Our average daily trading value for equities has reached US $1.03 billion, supporting a total market cap that has now soared past US $951 billion. This growth cements our position as a top 15 global exchange by market cap and a top 10 exchange by average daily trading value. The most transformative story is the explosive growth of our investor community. We have now welcomed over 19.7 million total capital market investors, with 8.3 million actively trading in the stock market. This is not just a number, it represents a profound democratization of finance driven by young, digital native generation taking control of their financial futures. Indonesia has truly evolved into a vibrant multi-asset class exchange. Beyond equities, our market depth is expanding rapidly. The bond market sees an average daily trade volume of US dollar 341 million. Innovative products like carbon credits have begun trading with a total traded value of US dollar 370 million. Year to date, we have facilitated US dollar 13.4 billion in total capital raised, showcasing the market's critical role in funding Indonesia's economic future. Our market is dynamically evolving. We are witnessing a significant shift in investor focus from blue chip index giants to a broader universe of emerging movers. Trading activity in non-LQ45 stocks have now constituted a substantial portion of daily volume, reflecting a more mature and discerning investor base seeking value across the entire market spectrum. This evolution aligns perfectly with our strategic vision, IDX 2030, which aims to position us among the top 10 global exchanges by market cap and trade value. Our pillars are clear: fostering innovation in market fit products like ESG and Sharia instruments, democratizing access through technology, and becoming a strategic partner for companies from pre-IPO to global expansion. It is within this context of record performance, deep liquidity, and strategic ambition that we view Robinhood's entry not just as a business move, but as a strategic vote of confidence. Today's corporate action between Robinhood and Buana Capital represents powerful synergy. It combines Robinhood's legendary user experience, technological innovation, and global reach with Buana's capital's deep local expertise, regulatory acumen, and trusted client relationship. This partnership is poised to accelerate our shared goals of financial inclusion and literacy. It will empower Indonesian investors with sophisticated, accessible tools to navigate not only the domestic market, but also, in time, a wider world of investment opportunities. Furthermore, it introduces a culture of innovation that will elevate the entire ecosystem, encouraging healthy competition and better services for all investors. In conclusion, today marks more than a corporate launch. It signifies the conversion of a global fintech revolution with the unstoppable rise of Indonesian capital markets. Together, we are not just participating in the market, we are actively shaping its future. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Shanti 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 Om. Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan.
Thank you very much, Ibu Risa Erustam, for the welcoming remarks as well as your continued support. And ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start with our first session of today's agenda with speech from Bapak Benny Hardiman Setiabrata, the President Director of the Buana Capital, about the future of retail investing in Indonesia. Please join me in welcoming Bapak Benny Hardiman Setiabrata.
Selamat pagi pada hari ini semua dan selamat datang di Auditorium Bursa Efek Jakarta, Indonesia. Let me read this in Indonesia. I'm sure if I give you this to Patrick within 3 minutes, your AI and all the technology will eliminate the hallucination and come up with exactly what this is, right? Yang saya hormati, Ibu Marsita Kristalin, Direktur Jenderal Stabilitas dan Pengembangan Sektor Keuangan, Kementerian Keuangan Republik Indonesia. Bapak Edi Broto, Kepala Departemen Pengawasan Lembaga Efek dari Otoritas Jasa Keuangan. Ibu Risa Rustam, Direktur dari Bursa Efek Indonesia. and a warm welcome back to all the senior Robinhood leadership to Indonesia, Dan Gallagher, JB McKenzie, Steve Quirk, Patrick, and Chloe. But welcome back to Indonesia, especially to you. Chloe ini saya baru tahu dulu ternyata lahir di Indonesia dan waktu baby hidup di Indonesia. Jadi that's why welcome back. Bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu yang saya hormati, pagi ini kita berada di titik penting dalam perjalanan pasar keuangan Indonesia. Di tengah berkembangnya minat terhadap investasi digital dan kemajuan teknologi, Indonesia terus menjadi salah satu pusat pertumbuhan investasi retail yang pesat. Dengan lebih dari 19 juta investor di pasar modal dan 17 juta investor kripto hingga Oktober 2025 lalu, kita melihat betapa besar potensi pasar kita untuk berkembang lebih jauh lagi. Pertumbuhan signifikan, terutama di kalangan generasi muda yang lebih menyukai investasi berbasis teknologi, membuka peluang besar bagi kita semua untuk lebih memaksimalkan pasar keuangan kita. Dengan pertumbuhan ekonomi yang cukup stabil, ditambah dengan performance dari indeks harga saham gabungan yang mencapai 21,5% sampai dengan akhir November, dan seperti Ibu Risa kemukakan berkali-kali mencapai all time high dan hari ini naik hampir 1% lagi. Indonesia menunjukkan potensinya sebagai tujuan investasi global. Dan tentunya membuat kolaborasi antara pemain lokal dan global menjadi sangat penting. Akuisisi Buana Capital oleh Robinhood, sebuah perusahaan jasa keuangan asal Amerika Serikat yang sudah terkenal dengan terobosan fitur canggih yang membantu investor retail di sana, merupakan langkah besar yang akan memperkuat ekosistem pasar keuangan Indonesia. Melalui sinergi ini, kita akan menyaksikan bagaimana masyarakat investor dan instrumen investasi di dunia global, terutama di Indonesia, dapat berinteraksi langsung dan akan menjadi lebih terjangkau dan efisien, yang harapannya akan menguntungkan investor-investor retail di Indonesia. Akuisisi ini juga memberikan peluang besar memajukan literasi dan inklusi keuangan di tanah air. Dengan pengalaman Robinhood yang sudah terbukti dalam membawa lebih dari 26 juta pengguna di Amerika Serikat untuk terlibat dalam investasi retail, kami yakin bahwa kolaborasi ini akan membawa inovasi dan kemudahan akses bagi lebih banyak investor Indonesia untuk terlibat dalam pasar keuangan, pasar modal, dan juga pasar kripto. Namun kami juga memahami bahwa perubahan besar ini menuntut komitmen yang lebih kuat untuk menjaga kontinuitas layanan bagi masyarakat dan terutama nasabah di Buana Capital. Kami berkomitmen untuk tetap menyediakan produk-produk investasi terbaik yang telah dinikmati oleh para nasabah, sambil secara perlahan memperkenalkan platform baru dengan lebih banyak pilihan investasi, yang tentunya akan tetap fokus pada kebutuhan investor Indonesia, memastikan mereka dapat mengakses investasi instrumen keuangan bervariatif dengan mudah dan aman. Melihat ke depan, kami percaya bahwa dengan semakin banyaknya generasi muda yang bergabung ke dunia investasi, pasar retail di Indonesia pasti menjadi salah satu yang terbesar dan terdinamis di Asia. Dengan adanya dukungan teknologi serta kolaborasi domestik dan global, masa depan investasi retail Indonesia penuh dengan kemungkinan dan peluang. Dengan menjadi bagian sambil bekerja dan dengan dukungan pihak-pihak otoritas dan SRO, kami berharap untuk terus menjadi bagian dari perjalanan pasar modal Indonesia, menghadirkan layanan investasi yang lebih mudah diakses, efisien, dan inklusif. Mari kita hadapi masa depan investasi dengan optimisme yang lebih besar. Terima kasih dan Tuhan memberkati usaha kita semua.
Amin, terima kasih Pak Benny, semoga semua prosesnya dilancarkan. Bapak Ibu sekalian, and now we would like to have insights on democratizing finance in Indonesia. Please welcome Mr. Steve Quirk, Chief Brokerage Officer of Robinhood.
Thank you. I do want to start off by saying this is the most comfortable attire I've ever done one of these events in. This shirt is extremely comfortable, and I think it looks kind of nice. First off, I want to thank everybody for having us here and putting on such a wonderful present opportunity for us to talk about this amazing partnership that we're undertaking. When we first came and had meetings with Buena, it became really clear that we were quite mission aligned. And what I mean by that is we not only were catering to audiences that are very similar in terms of age, in terms of technological savviness, in terms of just aspirations for the future, but we also had an eye for the future. And what I mean by that is, so we as a company, Robinhood as a company, serve about 27 million customers. The average age of those customers is quite young, right around just over 30. And they're quite technologically savvy, but they also are looking at the future and thinking about how to invest, and whether that be in equities, options, crypto, fixed income, funds. They just want access to everything that any institutional investor would have, and they want to be able to do it in a very intuitive, easy, and inexpensive manner. And we at Robinhood have been able to deliver that in a way that hasn't been done before in the United States. And as a result, we now sit with almost 60% of US households that are participating in the market. That's the envy of the world. What happens when you give young people the ability to be able to invest and have agency over their capital, it frees them up to make very good decisions about how they want to spend their life, what they want to do from an employment standpoint, what they want to do with their family. It's another mechanism for them to have this agency, which is so important. The other component that's very evident and is happening on a global basis is we talk about the ecosystem of any market in the world as if it's an ecosystem for investing in the US, an ecosystem for investing in Europe or in Asia or in South America. But they're all becoming much more connected, and by being part of that connectivity, you actually open your market to the world. And that's very beneficial for everybody. If you have access to be able to invest not just geographically where you reside, but you have the ability to invest in any place that you'd like to in the world. And so opening that access up also creates agency. Robinhood's success has been driven by opening up the market to young people, having them be invested in it and understand the importance of being part of that, one of the greatest wealth creation vehicles in the world, which are the capital markets. Now they have the freedom to do all the things that they'd like to do. So in this partnership, the other aspect that is really important is, we discussed it a little bit this morning as we were talking with the team. Many young people, I'm a little older than most of the customers that currently are at Robinhood, My entry into the stock market was through equity or a mutual fund or something that's more traditional. In today's day and age, half of the customers that come into the market are through crypto. And they find a way to learn about other aspects of the market, which is critically important, whether that's retirement account or all the other things that you do. But the way that they enter is less important. It's more what you do when they come. And the last component I'll talk about, which I think is one of the most critical, is education. So if you're entering the market and you're not doing it in a suitable manner, you're probably not going to have as much success as if you would when you're starting at a young age and understanding exactly how you should be doing things, the timing of the way you do things, and the methodology of that investing. I think all those things lead to a successful outcome for investors, and then they're going to spend more of their time and give you more of their share wallet, and hopefully have an ecosystem building performance that helps not only their family, their friends, and that education sort of reverberates. So I will wrap it up here. I know we have quite a few speakers today, but I really want to thank you all for having us, and we are so excited about this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Steve Quirk. You look fantastic in the batik. So with Robinhood's entry into Indonesian market, I think this is very timely moment for us to discuss the strengthening market integrity with global participation. And it is an honor to welcome Bapak Edi Broto from the Financial Services Authority to deliver his speech. Please give big round of applause.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Director General of Financial Sector Stability and Development, the Ministry of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, Ibu Masita Kristalin. The Honorable Director of Finance, Human Resources and General Affairs, IDX, Ibu Risa E. Rustam. The Honorable Chief Brokerage Officer Robinhood Market, Mr. Steve Quirk, and the team also. The Honorable President Director of Buana Capital Securities, Bapak Benny Hardiman, dan juga and the team, Pak Peter Tanuri, I'm sorry to forget. And also distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It is a privilege for me to stand before you today at this important event. First of all, I wish to express my deepest appreciation for the organization of today's event. This marks an important step that reflects the sincere intention and commitment to building strategic cooperation between global investors and the Indonesian financial service industry, particularly in the capital market sector. Around the world, capital markets are entering a phase of rapid transformation. New technologies, digital trading platforms, and cross-border participation are reshaping how investors engage and how financial ecosystem operate. In this environment, strengthening market integrity is not just a regulatory obligation, it is a shared global responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia has a comprehensive regulatory structure designed to uphold the integrity, stability, and fairness of our capital market. The Financial Service Authority, OJK, together with the Indonesia Stock Exchange and the Indonesia Clearing and Guarantee Institution and the Indonesia Central Securities Depository plays a central role in establishing the rules for capital market intermediaries, including securities companies and overseeing their operations. Let me outline several important pillars of this regulatory framework. First, Indonesia applies a rigorous licensing and fit and proper process. Every securities company must demonstrate strong governance, financial capacity, and a leadership team that meets high integrity and competence standards. This is essential to ensure that only credible institutions operate in our market. Second, we maintain strict prudential requirements, including minimum net working capital, segregation of client assets, and robust risk management practices. These measures ensure that securities companies remain financially sound and capable of meeting their obligation even during periods of market volatility. Third, Indonesia enforces clear rules on business conduct, transparency, and internal controls. Securities companies must avoid conflict of interest, maintain reliable compliance function, and provide regular reports to regulators. Surveillance systems are required to detect suspicious activities, potential manipulation, insider trading, and other threats to market integrity. And fourth, as digitalization advances, we have strengthened requirements for digital platform, data governance, and cybersecurity. Investor data must be protected, trading system must be resilient, and innovation must be built on responsible practices. Through these pillars, Indonesia aims to build a capital market that is not only innovative and competitive, but also safe, transparent, and trustworthy. Ladies and gentlemen, regulation alone is not enough. Effective market integrity requires consistent, proactive, and technology-driven supervision. Indonesia continues to strengthen the supervisory framework with modern tools such as real-time monitoring, data analytics, and risk-based assessment. This advancement allows us to monitor trading behaviors, ensure compliance, and respond swiftly to systemic risk. At the heart of this effort is our unwavering commitment to investor protection that includes strong disclosure, strong disclosure standards that ensure investors receive accurate and timely information. Clear investor rights, particularly regarding asset segregation and dispute regulation. Nationwide financial literacy and inclusion programs to empower the public, especially for the retail investors. From enforcement action against market manipulation, misleading promotion, and unethical market practices. We also recognize that capital markets today are interconnected. Therefore, Indonesia actively cooperates with international regulatory bodies, including IOSCO and various bilateral partners. Through this collaboration, we strengthen information exchange, align best practices, and reinforce our shared mission of safeguarding global market integrity. Distinguished guests, allow me now to turn to the global landscape. Over the past decade, we all know, as we all know, Robinhood has emerged a significant force in shaping retail investing worldwide. By offering intuitive, low-cost, and accessible digital trading services, Robinhood has played a major role in democratizing financial participation, particularly among younger generation and the first investors. Its innovation, such as fractional shares, seamless mobile trading, and integrated financial education tools, have inspired many global market developments. Robinhood's presence has demonstrated how digital platforms can expand access and transfer public engagement in capital markets. In the context of Indonesia, this presents meaningful opportunities. Indonesia retail investor has grown rapidly, driven by digital adoption, a young population, and expanding financial literacy. The entrance of a global platform such as Robinhood could contribute to enhanced competition, encouraging better services and more efficient costs. Increased product diversification and technology transfer. Broader investor reach, particularly among digital native users. Stronger ecosystem innovation through collaboration with the local institution or local partner like Buana Capital. It is very important to be continued. However, this opportunity must be aligned with Indonesia regulatory expectation. Should Robinhood decide to enter the Indonesian market, we expect that full compliance with local licensing, prudential, and fit and proper standards. Strict adherence to investor protection principles, including transparent communication and responsible marketing. Local operational accountability, ensuring Indonesia users receive reliable support and clear legal protections. Alignment with Indonesia's cybersecurity and data protection rules. Commitment to uphold market integrity, including cooperation in market surveillance and reporting requirements. And contribution to financial literacy, supporting our national programs to build informed, empowered investors. We welcome global participation as long as it strengthens and not compromise the integrity of our market. Ladies and gentlemen, as the world becomes increasingly connected, strengthening market integrity requires cooperation, innovation, and global engagement. Indonesia stands ready to collaborate with international partners, including institutions such as Robinhood, to build a capital market that is resilient, inclusive, and global competitive. Let us continue working together to create a future where investors, regardless of where they are, can participate with confidence, trust, and equal opportunity. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Bapak Edi Broto, Head of Capital Markets Institution Supervision, Indonesia Financial Services Authority, OJK. And now we would also like to hear a few words from Mr. Patrick Chen, Head of Asia, Robinhood.
Selamat pagi, good morning, distinguished and esteemed guests from Ministry of Finance, OJK, IDX, and friends for the media and financial industry. Thank you for having us. You know, there's a saying in Indonesia, when you have all these foreigners turning up in long sleeve batik shirts, it means that they really mean business and they want to do business in Indonesia. For myself, my love affair, I always say, with Indonesia started more than 20 years ago, when as a young man, I started coming to Indonesia to serve the investing needs of Indonesians. And I would like to say this love story has really blossomed today with Robinhood coming to Indonesia. But the sad thing to say is that over the 20 years I've been coming in and out of Indonesia, saya tak bisa bicara bahasa Indonesia. But I promise when Robinhood launches in Indonesia, I will make that speech in bahasa Indonesia. So, Robinhood is here today because of the robust and exciting financial system that has been built in Indonesia, due in no small part to the efforts of many of you in this room. The growth of the capital markets has been incredible, with close to 20 million investors just reported, an increase of more than 4 million investors since the start of this year. Not to mention a growing crypto industry. Right now, there are more than 17 million individual crypto investors that are registered. Indonesia has a growing population of smart, mobile-first, and young investors that have been driving these trends. They are becoming more and more financial literate and shaping the future of the economy. This is an incredible, exciting time for the capital markets in Southeast Asia, and Indonesia in particular is fast becoming one of the major markets in Asia. Robinhood believes together and in partnership with the leaders in the regulatory bodies and in the financial industry, we can usher in this new generation of investors in Indonesia. Following our acquisition of Buana Capital, we will continue to serve existing customers with Indonesian financial products. And over time, we hope to do together for Indonesia what we have done in the US, bringing our brokerage and crypto trading products, connecting Indonesian customers to global products, and also connecting global and international market participants who will have growing interest in the Indonesian markets. And last but not least, we are extremely grateful to Bapak Peter Tanuri, who will stay on as strategic advisor to Robinhood and lending his expertise to our joint vision. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Batik means business, serious business right here. So should you need an assistance with your speech in Bahasa Indonesia, you know whom to call. I'm right here. I'm sure that my Bahasa Indonesia is so much better than my English. Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege for me and for us to have Ibu Mashita Kristalin, the Director General of Financial Sector Stability and Development from the Ministry of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia. So we're going to have a little fire chat discussion with Ibu Mashita. So we would like to know, how is the Indonesian government driving financial sector reform?
Thank you, Mbak Alin. This is like the old time, yeah?
I used to interview Ibu Mashita at CNBC Indonesia.
Yeah, so we used to be in the same stage together in CNBC. So good morning all. Thank you for having me here, and Pak Menteri convey his apology for not being able to come here, but tomorrow, hopefully, if nothing changes, he will accept you guys in the office. So I will try to step back a little bit, right? From the beginning, all of the keynote speakers have defined what Robinhood wants to do with Buana and its mission align, and you know, from the exchange side, that there's a lot of change and optimism in this year that are very good for the capital market. So I would like to basically make sure that Robinhood understand that you're coming into the right country. So please open the slide let us go directly into slide 3. So I'm not gonna go into detail into the global setting, right? But I don't know if we're out of the wood yet, but if you're looking at global growth projection, even 26 is slightly lower than 25, but there's an upward revision in almost all of the institutions creating the projection. So there was an optimism at the end of this year if you compare to even Q3. You can also see inflation are slowing down everywhere, and the trajectory of Fed fund rates and including Indonesia, policy rates and policy rates in ASEAN in general are moving towards, having more space for easing. In terms of growth, Indonesia is still up there. Our aspiration is higher, as you know. But then looking at the global situation right now, Indonesia growth is quite good. Next slide. Looking at the monetary easing, because this is a capital market, this is what's important for you, the trajectory, if you're looking at the European, the Fed, Indonesia, since the start of the global easing cycle, we have cut 1.5, 150 basis points so far. That's the trajectory, and the fiscal is in the expansion territory. And with the new minister, he's even more trying to do more expansion, making sure that we can grow even faster, right? Not only from the real sectors, but also from the financial sector's side. Next slide. I just want to give you a flavor of how the economy is working, right? Manufacturing is the old engine of growth. I understand that it may change now since we have a lot of technology, AI, etc., but it's still a good marker for economic growth. So if you're looking at Indonesia PMI compared to the G20 countries or even to ASEAN, we are in the expansion trajectory. In Asia, it's either India, China, or Indonesia in the expansion territory. But if you're looking at not just growth, but also the potential from the young population, in Asia, the big population is you only have India and Indonesia left that still have a healthy fertility rate, meaning that the technology that Robinhood is bringing needs the Gen Z to be aware of the investment and the technology, and this is another proof that you're coming into the right country, and I will explain later, but not only the right country, but also you pick a good timing. Next slide. Next slide, please. So from the Indonesia economy, I'm sure everybody here already know, but I just would like to point out to our Robinhood colleague here that Indonesia by growth our potential growth are around 5%, 5.2, right? We're growing at 5% for 15 years if you take out the COVID period. And it's mainly driven by several sectors. There's sectors that are naturally engine, like manufacturing and trading, but also there are sectors that naturally labor absorption. This is also important for a big country like Indonesia. There is agriculture, you see trading there, sorry it's still in Bahasa. Soalnya Pak Benny curang ya, ternyata Pak Benny bahasa Indonesia. Tahu gitu saya bahasa Indonesia aja, jadi lidahnya nggak keriting gitu loh. And then transportation and also communication. Next slide. Berarti Pak Benny utang ya traktir saya nih. Okay, next slide please. For equity market, it's important for you to look at what drives growth in a country, right? So agriculture is there, and some of the agriculture has agri-tech. So these are also the area of growth. Manufacturing is still there, trade, construction. Construction are a bit more cyclical with the current condition, and you have some lag, but communication is always ticking up in the last 2 years consecutively. Transport is a bit more plateaued, right? But with all of the development and hopefully with the higher growth, transportation sector will catch up as well. Next slide. Okay, I'll skip this. Next slide. So what are the space for more easing, more government expansion or monetary policy expansion? One of the indicators beside Indonesia effects is inflation, right? So Indonesia core inflation and CPI are actually maintained around our set band by the central bank. The one that's a bit more volatile is the volatile food price, but that's also depend on the season and the economic condition and stuff. That's usually under maintained with a better distribution. Bottom line here is that if you're looking at the space for policy expansion, and it's important for capital market, we're still having some room to expand. Next slide. On the stability side, so our directorate is holding the financial sector development and stability and international cooperation. You know, the IHSG, the JCI having so many all-time high during the current minister, and we're hoping to have the same optimism next year. Government bond yield, despite this global economic situation, are trending down, yeah, even until today, supported more now by the domestic investor. So you can see that we have some anchor, domestic anchor in Indonesia coming from pension fund or insurance. Rupiah and, you know, banking sector, the credit growth a bit easing, but then you can see that it picks up after the boost of liquidity provision from the government. Now, why the timing is right for you to come here? Can we go to 2 slides from here? Indonesia is now, next slide. Indonesia investment growth are targeted to increase, because if you want to grow from 5% to 6 to 7 to 8, we cannot only depend on consumption. We need also to boost investment growth, but also making the investment more efficient with the lower ICOR. So you can see that the investment contributor, private sector are still the majority, SOE, Danantara, and government here are the smallest, but playing as an enablers and catalyzing roles. Why we believe that investment growth can increase? One is that we increase the value addition of the economy, right? So from the manufacturing side, we are planning to move into a higher value added, and for the natural resource into a more downstreaming. We support digitalization and technology for the economy, as well as new renewable energy. Next slide. So our Minister of Finance when he came to office, tried to improve the liquidity in the system by putting the government money in the private bank. And you can see that it lowers the deposit rate. Usually in Indonesia, the monetary transmission from deposit rate into the credit is taking like 1 quarter to 2 quarters. So I think during the first quarter of next year, we're hoping that some of this effect will last and maybe even improve. Next slide. Nah, this is where you're coming from, right? So in Indonesia, financial sectors are growing quite similar with the growth of nominal GDP, a bit below, so there's room to improve. And from the pie chart, you can see a big chunk of Indonesia financial sector asset, almost 80%, coming from the banking sectors. So I see this as you're coming here with the young population, with the high GDP target, with that engine of growth that we're targeting, and you're entering the capital market, which is the source of long-term investment for a country like Indonesia, you have a big room to expand, right? So this is a really big potential, and I'm gonna tell you later why also the timing. From the government side, we would like to push a little bit on the financial sector reforms, making sure that, you know, market can work well and financial sectors can be deepened. Next slide. Optimizing Indonesia specific, zooming in into the capital market, room to grow. Indonesia is there, still higher than Vietnam, but Vietnam catching really fast in terms of growth. You can see India, China, Thailand even is up there. So we're working on several reform strategy to improve the capital market capitalization. One of the concern is the free float adjusted. In Indonesia, we don't have that many thick free float, making the market less liquid if you're looking at the number of the capitalization. Next slide. Next slide is between literacy and inclusion. I'm just gonna focus on the capital market side. You can see we have some literacy, people understand capital market, 17% plus, but inclusion is only a little bit more than 1%, right? You have room. But what type of room? If you look at the bar chart on the right side, this is expenditure by decile of population per capita. How much people spend, because you don't know how much people earn. So just for your information, decile 5 at 5.4 million per month is somewhat similar to Jakarta minimum wage. So inclusion for retail is really important, but it needs to be supported by domestic institutional anchor investor. Retail alone needs time to catch up because of the nominal income, right? But as you can see, if we're growing faster, these things are moving faster as well. So your target could be from decile 5 to decile 10 for the retail customer, and you still have a lot of potential there. 2 slides from here. 2 slide from here. Slide berikutnya, 2 slide dari sini. 1 lagi deh. Okay. This is my last slide. I still have a lot if you have time, but I'm gonna stop here. So I'm gonna stop at financial sector reform in the capital market. So my director here, Pak Adi Budiarso, berdiri Pak, biar ini. Pak Adi Budiarso is the person leading all this financial sector reform on the capital market side. So please feel free to reach our office, because we would like to hear from the market what type of regulation, institution building, etc. that you need us to help the market to work well with, right? So we're working on 3 sides. First, on the supply side, we want to make sure that people have enough cash for investment. So we're creating this government regulation on SPV and trustee. So you know Indonesia is common law, we don't have separation of asset and bankruptcy remoteness and those things that are needed for investment vehicle. So this is ongoing. Hopefully we can finalize 2006, so that's why your timing is also right. So you don't have to put the money in Singapore, and Pak, you can also be based here rather than in Singapore if the business is here.
Mr. Patrick.
Yeah. And then on the demand side, on the right-hand side, on the buy side, you also need an anchor domestic institutional investor, right? Now we are creating a government regulation, making sure that SOE that are in the insurance and pension fund sectors feeling comfortable to invest in the capital market, not just buying government bond. So we have a government regulation on cut loss, making sure their investment decisions are covered, right? And then we also, on the demand side, what you're working on now is basically also coming from the demand side. In the middle, you're also coming in the middle. We want to make sure that the exchange are more open into new technology, new innovation. So as part of the Omnibus Law for financial sector, we will demutualize the exchange next year. Dan Nantara have mentioned in news that they are also interested to own the exchange, so that's a good sign. And then here you want to use more technology, like you said, more allowing the system to make investor feels at ease to use it, to invest and feel that they're also safe in doing it. So congratulations, Buana Capital and Robinhood, coming to the right country at the right time, and please make us and OJK a partner of what you want to do. Whatever that deepen the financial sector, we will be happy to support. Thank you.
So you come to the right country at the right time, and all the reasons explained very well by the right person. Once again, a big round of applause for Ibu Mashita Kristalin. We can see, right? That's why we see her a lot in the media when she was an economist, and right now when she is representing the Minister of Finance of Indonesia. So tomorrow, if you see our Minister of Finance, you love him just like us. He's a media darling and very supportive of the capital market. So we hope to see more transaction volume as well as more active participation of the capital market with the entry of Robinhood. And I will try to highlight some of data, the important thing that we have here, why Indonesia is the right country, because Indonesia has more than 19 million capital market investors, and 17 million cryptocurrency traders. And Mr. Patrick Chen, in media, you are quoted to say that Indonesia represents a fast growing market for trading, making it an exciting place to further Robinhood's mission to democratize finance for all, including in Indonesia. And now this is the moment that we have all been waiting for. Following these insightful presentations, we now arrive at one of the most anticipated moments of today's event, the signing ceremony marking the strategic partnership between Buana Capital and Robinhood. And this collaboration represents a significant step in Robinhood's expansion into Indonesia, a rapidly growing market with a strong retail investor base and increasing demand for innovative, accessible financial solutions. As we prepare, now allow me to note that this partnership symbolizes not only corporate alignment but also continued evolution of Indonesia's investment ecosystem, which is increasingly open to global innovation. Without further delay, I am honored to invite Bapak Benny Hardiman Setiabrata, President Director of Buana Capital, to the signing table, as well as Mr. Steve Quirk, Chief Brokerage Officer, Robinhood. So batik means business, and here's the business right here on the signing table. I will count in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing the signing ceremony that marks the entry of Robinhood to Indonesia. Robinhood has more than 26 million active accounts and hundreds of billions of dollars in asset under management. Robinhood's commission-free app-based platform is widely credited with disrupting U.S. retail trading by drawing in a new generation of investors and changing how Americans engage with stock market. And now, the two documents is being signed by Mr. Benny as well as Mr. Steve. We will have a special photo op right here. So don't worry teman-teman media, setelah ini kita akan ada sesi foto. Don't worry. Okay. And now the official, if the document has been signed, let's now exchange the documents. Ladies and gentlemen, with this signing, now the official exchange of the signed documents between Mr. Steve and Mr. Benny. Please exchange the document. Exchange the document. Ladies and gentlemen, with this signing, we officially welcome a new chapter that promises expanded opportunities and greater financial access for investors across Indonesia. And a brief photo session, both of you, Mr. Steve and Bapak Benny, diarahkan silakan rekan-rekan media untuk mengabadikan, maybe with the formal pose first, with showing the document. Okay, okay, without the document, I was told, sorry. Okay, now take a picture, please, in 3, 2, 1. Okay.
I just want to say very, very simply, we first met sometimes in like June or July. So this signing ceremony looks like really nice and very quick, but behind the scene, there's a lot of obviously due diligence and a lot of work, which everybody has been involved in, both from the Buana Capital like compliance and risk management team, as well as from the M&A acquisition and far away. And I think there are times when we had calls from Menlo Park, Singapore, Washington, and Chicago. there's a lot of those things. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been working, and especially please convey my thank you to Rafi, who's been bearing all the effort, blood, sweat, and tears to do this. So thank you. And including with IDX and OJK. We actually visited IDX and OJK as well, sometimes in July, and they've been very friendly to both of us as we communicate. At the time, it was obviously just a thing like an assessment, what Indonesia is, blah, blah, blah. But the authority has been very, very helpful in, I guess, helping them to be convinced that this is the right place, and like Ibu Machita said, also the right time. So after that meeting, I think within like few days, they came back and say, okay, let's continue this conversation and dig this further. So the July period was actually very long, but also very short. And thank you to everyone, to OJK and to IDX.
Thank you, Mr. Benny. And now, you would like to say a few words as well?
I think that was summarized very well. I'd like to thank you for hosting.
My pleasure.
And also to everyone here. The people here are so welcoming, and we think about that a lot when we're making decisions with respect to not only who we want to serve, but we will have many employees that will be part of Robinhood that will be here as well, and I think that's going to be a very, very good cultural fit for us in serving the customers that we hope to serve here. So thanks again for everybody attending. Thanks for everybody who helping to put it on, and we greatly appreciate it and look forward to the future.
Thank you. And now we would like to invite a number of VIPs to join us to the stage for a photo. Mr. Peter Tanuri, Ibu Lydia Triveli, Ibu Ratna Katim, Ibu Risa, Bapak Edi Broto, Ibu Machita Kristalin, Mr. Patrick Chan, please join us for a group photo ceremony. Thank you for coming to Indonesia at the right time. Rekan-rekan media silahkan diarahkan untuk pose-pose yang dibutuhkan. So our media friends will help you with the photo and all the pose that they need. Okay, are we good? Okay. All right. In 3, one more. Please hold. Silakan Bapak. Baik. Oke. Kakak ke sini. Enggak ke sini. Jangan bocor. Oke. Alright. Baik. I will count in 3, 2, 1. Smile. In 3, 2, 1. Do you need another pose, teman-teman media? Ada pose lain yang diinginkan? Full spirit. Spirit for Indonesia's financial ecosystem. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. We just marked the Robinhood's entry into Indonesian market. Thank you very much for your active participation and your kind support, our media friends. Teman-teman media, setelah ini kita akan melakukan sesi Q&A. We will have a Q&A session after this with Bapak Benny Hardiman Setiabrata as well as Mr. Patrick Chan, Head of Asia Robinhood. For the press conference will be held at the auditorium on the side. Jadi teman-teman silakan menuju ke auditorium untuk rekan-rekan media. We will have a press briefing with